Hello everybody and welcome to Sword Art Online Alicization War of Underworld Part 2 Electric Boogaloo. I think I said that joke last week. Anime review episode, whatever episode we're on. Episode, what, 15 of War? Alicization 39? I'm not going to try and figure this out every week, but I probably will. This episode, bloody hell, a lot was happening. We went from, like, Sinon, then we went to Asuna, and then Higa got there, and then it was bloody Shater and Iskan, and then we were back to Asuna. We went all over the place, is basically what I'm trying to say. Which is fine. I actually kind of like going all over the place. It gives a real large scale feel. That's hard sentence to say right there, especially in this 80-degree heat that my room is currently in. Not great. But no, I like this episode. Definitely seemed like more of a build-up-y episode. Like, yeah, Poe was there, but he didn't really. He glared at them a little bit and laughed. That was the extent of it, really. Sort of thought he would have a little conversation, not a conversation, a mocking taunt. Is that a good thing to say? Thought that would be going on, but alas, didn't see the twist, the reinforcements twist. Christ alive. Anyway, let's jump into the episode, see exactly how it all went down and everything. Let's do this. We begin with Sinon, who is, of course, fashionably late to get to Alice, where, you know, she's all sad because, hey, Bakuli just died. Tries to get Alice to go to the altar. It's like, no, you're not helping. You need to get to the altar. So we win, basically. It's sort of like capture the flag, except the flag is Alice. Makes sense, I promise. Then she lets Alice in on the fact that real worlders, they don't die when they die. They just go back. So Alice then is like, oh, so Bakuli died for nothing. And I'm like, well, no, it wasn't nothing. He did kill a god account. You know, that's pretty important. Like, I mean, whether or not the Subtilizer account is more powerful, it can't be, right? It's a god account. Who knows? How long has he been playing that account? That's the real question. And then she gets all sad, like, why did my uncle have to die? And Sinon is like, hey, Kirito's a real worlder. Was his sacrifices and that? Was that all fake as well? And it's like, no, Kirito, of course, is good. Sinon just drops the old, I like Kirito, and Alice is probably like, sugar, almost swore there. Another one. How does Kirito keep getting all these girls? That's the question she must be thinking. They did it. Everyone did it. Bakuli, Kirito, everyone else all did it to save Alice. They made their choice, and the results are what they are. Asks question as she's about to leave, hey, can I come back to the Underworld once I'm out of here? And Sinon's like, yeah, if everything's fine. Didn't mention the fact that, hey, time's sped up here, so everyone you know and love will probably be dead. But, yeah, that was a thing. Like, why wouldn't you... I mean, I get it's not really the time for telling her that, but that's a pretty crucial piece of information to tell her, you know. Sinon is going to wait around for Vector to log in with the next account because she's like, he's probably going to be back. And Alice flies off, I was going to say into the sunset, there was no sunset. Flies off into the south, that direction. Towards the altar is basically it. Still forget what the second dragon is that Eldri's dragon? I can't remember. Like, Bakuli's dragon died. Whose was the third dragon? My brain is having a fart here. I think it must have been Eldri's, right? I cannot remember. That's where we're at. But no, that's where we're at. Sinon's waiting, Alice is flying, and then they played the opening. It was like a good 5 minutes before they played the opening. I thought they were going to skip it for a minute. It was just a bit late. Fair enough. Up next we go to Ishkan and Shater. They're still fighting and everything, but there's this really somber music playing. It's like, oh, look at all those dead people and injured people. So basically, they're losing strength that they're going to die. They're going to die. They've been holding the line, but they can't hold it for much longer. Shater then really wants to cut Ishkan. She makes that very clear in her thing. But then, actually, she figures something out. Her sword breaks. What is it she figured out? She found what she didn't want to cut. And then it's like, oh, they're like proper in love now. And they want to make a family and babies. Okay, you met about 10 minutes ago? But... I mean, it's fine, you know. I mean, I don't think anybody comes to Sword Art Online expecting long and deep things. And also, honestly, they're kind of cute together, aren't they? Ishkan and Shater. But then they have a big old hug and they face the oncoming horde and it's like, oh, they're going to die, aren't they? Hopefully someone saves them. But Leafa hasn't shown up in a while. She can go save them. Let's do that. Please, let's save her. Save that. And also, like, what's his name? Lil Pillin. He can guide her to him, I guess. Because he's also got no eye. And it's like, my no eye senses are tingling. Someone else has not got an eye over there. And that's how they'll find them. That's exactly how it'll go, I promise. Yeah. And then we go to Asuna and friends. They've pretty much won their fight. Everything going great. Klein tells Klein to go see Kirito after they win, basically. Asuna spots a hooded man and is like, I think I've seen that man before, Klein. Do you recognize him? And he is like, my god, I've seen a ghost. He's like super shocked, and he's basically like, yeah, that's the leader of Laughing Coffin. Puh. Puh, P-O-H. I think they say puh, so I'm going to choose to pronounce it puh. Although it's spelt like little big P, little O, big H. Don't know what that stands for. Probably it looks like an acronym, but it's a gamer username, so it might not be. You know how it is. At least it's not XX per 69XX. Could have been worse. But yeah, then more players log in, and these are non-American players to help in the bad guys. They are from Korea and China. It's literally World War III, but in a virtual world. That's exactly what's happened. We need to get the bloody English, the UK. Come on, my country. Come on, let's get them on the good guys' side. Hope that's not going to happen, but you know, be nice. I'd wave the flag. Come on, the England. I've forgotten what I'm saying, but anyway, things not looking good for the good guys. Up next, we briefly follow a Korean player. He's called Moonphase, I think they said his name was earlier. And I've never seen this guy before. It's the sort of thing you'd expect to be like a spin-off, like this guy and his Chinese friend that they briefly show. You kind of expect it to be a spin-off, of them to have a spin-off, because they just get introduced we're really late on in the series for them to be introduced. Kind of feels like they should have a spin-off, but whatever. They both head into the Underworld and are there and everything. We don't see exactly them later. Sinon sees the re-emerging Improvector or Subtilizer, who is the guy in GGO who choked her out that one time, and he apparently he knows the dark side of the Force because he just like force chokes her. Genuinely, he just force chokes her. Also, didn't notice this whenever it was, but the GGO people don't have their like live guns. They've got like crossbows, which I guess that's a good compromise, although I thought they would come in with all their gear, considering their avatars are the same. But I guess you can't exactly have guns, because that would heavily tip the balance, I think, if you have guns in this sword and sorcery world. But hey, what do I know? Yeah, Korean... So Sinon's all scared. The turtle mission started with Higa and the other dude and all that going on. The baddies find out pretty early, though, because there's an alarm that goes off, and it's like, oh, we need to hurry. So they hurry to do that. More on that later. And then that Korean player, Moonphase, as I said, he logs in, meets up with his friends. It's kind of weird, because we know how serious everything is, but then him and his friends are like, whoa, man, I haven't seen you in ages. How's it going? Yeah, high fives. And it's like, okay, man. Push shows up and gives a rousing speech to all the other players, which, I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but the language thing, like, do they all speak Japanese, I guess, or is he I think he speaks multiple languages, actually. I think they do actually say that at one point. Maybe I actually think that got cut in the anime. In the earlier light novel, he says, like, because you can speak like English and Japanese, so he probably can speak other languages too. I was going to say I might look that up, but I'm probably not going to. I'm probably going to forget to, so hey, whatever. Gives a rousing speech, basically to trick them into attacking, and the attack starts and everything. Asuna starts off fighting, but she throws up very quickly because I guess she's putting too much stress on the goddess account, even though she wasn't using her creation powers. So that's kind of weird. Maybe she's just been fighting way too hard. I guess because it's like realistic, she has been fighting a lot longer than everyone else. Also, everyone else is just using Amuspheres, so I guess they wouldn't feel it as much. I have no idea if that's true. I'm just making assumptions here. But no, they all tell her to hang back a little bit. They all do a fight, including AG. AG at some point did a cool thing. So that's good. Everyone's just fighting their buttocks off, basically. And it's awesome. However, they are starting to lose people. They are starting to die. We end this segment with Pur and his evil laughing as him and Asuna sort of stare each other down like one of them boxing confrontations. So that's probably a thing that's going to happen next week, I would presume. However, thought the episode was going to end there. It did not. We go to Higa, who has started his work on the thing to connect the thing, And wouldn't you know it, I think it might be the most telegraphed betrayal in history. The janitor guy was a bad un. He points a gun at him and was like, "Freeze! Stop what you're doing right now." So yeah, I called that when he said he was going to go out of nowhere, this guy, and then earlier he was like feeling around his pocket for a gun. So they might have made it a bit obvious, although it was so obvious anyway. I don't know how you could make it not obvious. So I assume he's the mole who got them in, basically. So yeah, that was where we ended. Now, I don't think would they kill Higa? Don't think so. Like, I think somehow he's probably gonna talk him out of it. He's like, "We can win this, man," and he's gonna be like, "Okay, man, it's true." And then that guy will probably sacrifice himself to save him or something. That's how I think that could possibly go. Within the Underworld, I mean, Aston's gonna fight Puh. I definitely think Ishkan and Shaita are gonna get saved, maybe by Leafa. Could definitely see that happening. Alice is continuing on her way to the altar, so that's the thing that's happening. And yeah, God, I got no idea where we're going next. We're all over the place. Those, like, the two smart Korean players are probably gonna end up joining up with the good guys, because they'll be like, "Hey, we know you're not actually bad. We'll fight against the thing." Although the next episode is called like Code 7, what was it, 871, which is, the I code. So maybe they're gonna turn that off, like to so the quote unquote bad guys, the Dark Territory people, will be able to, go against Emperor Vector, who is not Emperor Vector. They have to obey him, even though he's not Emperor, because the Vector account's dead. But he's Subtilizer. They don't have to obey Subtilizer, so they could just go like, "I'm not gonna be on your side. What are you doing?" But yeah, curious to see what happens next. Really looking forward to it. I'm really enjoying this. Just the whole, it's a big old war, and it's a war on all fronts. You got real world, you got the big, the little bit they're going on. You got the Korea and China coming in. I just hope UE recruits England. I really want England in there. I'll wave the not European flag. That wouldn't make sense because we're not there anymore. But yeah, I'm still looking forward to it. Really excited to see what happens next. I'm a fanboy. I freely admit it. I know it's got problems, but that's my opinion on it. Anyway, I will see you guys next week for another episode. Thank you everybody for watching this review. See you next week, as I said. Take care, and bye, guys.